Welcome Aquarius and Aquarius cross watchers to your reading for this week. So we have the Five of Wands here. Aquarius, I feel like you, this might sound strange, I feel like you have a bunch of your ducks in a row and things are going really well, but there's this, not quite an itch that you can't scratch, but it's like you're trying to have this. Please just bear with me while I describe the energetics of it. It may not be the actual situation, but it's like you're sitting there meditating and you're doing your thing and you're doing the, deep breathing and that sort of stuff. And it's like, and all you can hear is this window that just keeps opening and closing with the wind, right? And I feel like it's not that big of an annoyance, right? It still is just the window. You're still in a place where you're able to meditate. But it seems to be eating up all of your focus, right? It's like all of this stuff is going well, and it's not like you're not enjoying that and not focusing on it to a certain extent, but this one thing over here, it's like a itch in your brain that you can't scratch somehow. Hang on. What is that? Somebody either isn't doing what you told them to do or they're not living up to a certain potential here. And I feel like that seems to really annoy you, because I feel like you may feel to a certain extent that like you put them on the right path, you gave them everything they needed to, and here they are doing the same stupid stuff again. Right? And I feel like you're looking at it like this thing or this person or whatever it is not working out or kind of messing up somehow. It reflects poorly on you and your qualities and your like your ability to lead. And what's interesting is that I actually don't feel like anybody else is even paying attention to it. Nobody else really even notices. It's like background noise for them. So I feel like your place in that circle, if you are if you have a leadership role in it, I feel like not only is it not compromised, but people aren't even thinking along the same way as you. And I feel like that seems to really be frustrating, looking at it like, how could you not see this? How could you not hear this? How is this not grating on your last nerve? And I feel like there might be somebody that comes up to you and kind of helps you to see that, for whatever reason, for a reason that actually wouldn't normally be important to you, you seem to be hyper fixated on this. And I feel like it's like you've been staring at, if ever you used to watch Tom and Jerry, probably dating myself there. But like there would be a little hole in the wall and they would just be sitting outside waiting for the mouse to come out. And the longer they wait, the longer they get annoyed, waiting and waiting and waiting. It's that kind of an energy, right? Like you just seem to feel like, hold on for a second. Like now whoever it is going to act up. Now this thing is going to go sideways, right? It's like there were so many other opportunities for things to go sideways when you would have been able to address it. And for whatever reason, it's not something that you can address right now. And I feel like that actually is what's frustrating you the most. It's not even that it's happening. It's that you're not really in a place where you can do anything effective about it right now, right? It's like almost like you're so far removed from whatever that situation is that it's not something you can step into and do anything about it. But you could have at one point in time, and that's where the frustration is coming from. This deck doesn't always make an appearance, but it seems to be in the air sign reads. We get one for Aquarius, please. One for Aquarius. Okay, that's like 5 cards. Well, I can see now why you were meditating, because your mind is going a mile a minute. And I feel like maybe you are able to meditate at times, but I feel like the second you open your eyes, your brain is on overload again, right? It's like, let's say, for example, everyone's brain is, we'll say like Santa's workshop with all the elves doing what they're doing. It's like you are constantly it's the night before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. Everything's got to get done. Everybody's running around like crazy, trying to do the last minute this and that. And it just feels like, not that you're last minute or anything, it just feels like there's just so much going on internally. There's so much noise up there. It feels almost like it's disruptive. And that seems to be why, that window that's being, blown open by the wind, that's kind of making that noise, seems to be, that's why it's grating on your nerves. You're burnt out. And I feel like some of you may not want to, like, for those of you that are saying like, no, I'm not, but you kind of know that you are. I feel like the reason you kind of are trying to push away feeling burnt out, is because you don't want to feel like a failure. It's almost like it may be one of the first times that you've had to push up against one of your own limits, right? Because we all eventually get there, right? You can only push yourself and your body and your mind so far before you have to rest. And I feel like it may be one of the first times that you've experienced that. And it's a disheartening experience for you for some reason. It's almost like if ever I know not everybody likes this show, but that Peaky Blinders show. And in one of the final episodes, Tommy Shelby keeps saying like, I have no limitations, right? And that may have been how you saw yourself in the past, and now seeing that there are some things that, not that you can't do necessarily, but just that you can't do with the speed, and like you can't do everything right now, and realizing that that's kind of the reality for you, even though that's the reality for everybody. It seems to be that like you're looking at it like you have to somehow now reevaluate how you see yourself. And I'm going to question that a little bit. I feel like bear with me when I say this. Okay, let me explain it. I feel like to a certain extent you put yourself on a pedestal. Wait, let me explain. In that you have these horrendously high expectations of yourself, right? It's like the expectations you place on yourself. I feel like you would pop somebody in the nose. If someone else tried to put that kind of pressure on somebody that you care about, you'd be like, oh, no, that's not happening. That's not what we're going to do today. But I feel like you've got this superhuman expectation of yourself. And then when you fall short, that seems to be what's kicking you into this disillusioned energy. And I feel like the more that you're able to think about it, like clear-headed, I'm going to kind of give you something to describe the energy, but I want to be really clear that this is like it's not meant to be like a flippant example, okay? And it's not meant to describe the gravity of what's going on here, because I do feel like it's kind of an existential thing. However, when I am really tired, I get cranky. And when I'm hungry, I'm just irritable and I'm unhappy and everything grinds on my last nerve. Well, not everything, but I'm just like generally grumpy. And then if I have something to eat and something to sleep, I wake up and whatever was bothering me doesn't seem like it's that big, right? And I feel like even if you have had that rest, you haven't been able to wake up with a clearer mind, feeling like things have settled down and everything's okay. And I feel like it's because there's this constant drive in you to be like, okay, accomplished, next, accomplished, next, accomplished, next. And it's almost like you've gotten into this robotic movement or this robotic rhythm of feeling like you need to accomplish things. And I feel like there's a message here, and I think this is probably the point of the whole reading. When you are younger, you're able to accomplish things relatively quickly because you are accomplishing smaller things, right? As you kind of move through life, it takes longer and longer and longer, right? Like it doesn't take, for example, if you want to save up money to buy a car or save up money to buy a house, saving up money to buy a house is obviously going to take significantly longer than trying to buy a car. And so it's like you're not getting the, oh, I did that. Okay, great. Great. Something's done. I accomplished something. Because you're not getting that feeling, that seems to be where the unease is coming from. Right? Feeling like you know that you're doing the things that you need to do, but the fact that there isn't the, that dopamine causing reward, that it hasn't come yet, I feel like that's where it is. I don't, not to be trite here, but you're kind of stuck in the in between a little bit right now. And I feel like there is a message here that if you are willing, because it's not whether or not you're able to, it's whether or not you're willing to kind of let go of feeling like you have to always set this really high, like you always have to have this high standard to set an example for the people around you. I feel like it's also a bigger part of it is like you don't want to let yourself down. And I'm going to question you. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions rather than saying something. If you look at the things that you're doing on the daily, are you actually letting yourself down? Because I feel like instead of looking at the big picture, the big goal down here, instead of looking at that, if it's far away, if you're looking at like, did I do everything today that I could to reach that goal reasonably? And I feel like if you're able to look at it that way, you actually will, like, your sense of pride in yourself will come back. You're going to sit up straighter, right? You're going to kind of carry yourself a little bit differently, because I feel like that self-assured energy is going to be reinvigorated, because it's almost like you're going to remember who you are. You're going to remember that, like, actually, yes, I do have this, right? And that kind of, and I feel like, and then that noise that was kind of grating on you, that you felt reflected poorly on you, it's almost like you seem to embrace it somehow. So I think I'll leave it there, Aquarius. I love you guys. I hope this reading was helpful and that it made sense. And we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.